Right, bang, we're on. G'day, welcome, Spicer, episode 8. Shit, we're here again. Inside today, because a few bits of bad weather out there and a couple of boys construction of some jetties. So we'll just be inside with a nice, beautiful backdrop behind us. Big week in everything, absolutely big week in everything. Lots to go through today, not a lot of time. AFL coaches on the move. The Adam Goods video last night, Steve Hocking, should he stay or should he go? West Coast, big loss for the Pies on Friday night. I was there, I'll tell you more about it. Man U games, 2 of them in Perth, I went to both. I'll tell you more about that later on as well. Wimbledon finals, interesting. The ICC Cup, World Cup cricket final. What a debacle that was. We'll have a rundown on that one. The Tour de France, it's ticking along nicely. World events, a few things are starting to heat up in the world. 50-year anniversary of the moon landing. The Australian justice system's fucked, and I'll tell you why later. And the lotto jackpot. Instagram likes, the count's gone. We'll talk about that. Some Twitter polls. Wild weather's coming. The mailbag and the shit list. Let's crack into it, all right. No sport first up today for those listeners who don't get into the sport. I want to give you something this week. So today, I'll have a look at the running sheet here. We're going to go straight into the 50th anniversary. Apollo 11 moon landing. Cool. Very cool. One small step for man, one giant step for mankind. The words that were spoken up there, fantastic. The race is back on to get to the moon between China and USA, but India are involved as well. They tried to get up there last week, they failed. They reckon they're doing it next week. They're going to have a crack as well. Those Indians will try anything as well. Who's going to get there first? We'll find out. Don't know what's on the moon. Don't know why we need to go there again, but hey, look, gives us something to do. Let's do it. The lotto jackpot, wow, 36.6 million bucks each between 3 people. You lucky bastards. I don't like you. Yeah, that's that. Instagram, the likes have gone. The like counter in Australia and a couple other countries, Brazil, I think Canada did it as well. A few other places like that. Not sure about America. They're going to have a meltdown when that happens. So you can still see how many likes you got on the Insta, but it doesn't tell everyone else or doesn't give you a number on it anymore. So the individual poster can see how many likes they've got, but no one else can see. Or you can actually count them up if you really want. No doubt people are going to be screenshotting that page. It tells them how many likes that post got and then posting that up subsequently after, so you know they can keep their like counts up and be cool. So how the Insta slut's going to stay famous and relevant now, I don't know. There's just going to be too many meltdowns. And I think it's going to be funny. El Chapo, he's in the jail now, 30 years on top of a life sentence. He's not getting out of that US jail anytime soon. The Mexican drug lord, I wouldn't have thought. Yeah, they didn't really do much sympathy with him, I don't think, on that sentence. Life plus 30 years, it's a big one. Mind you, he's the king of getting out of jail, so watch this space. It might happen, you never know. The justice system, we're going to go on to that one straight up today and how shit this is. I saw an article this morning and this one really grind my gears. And the Adelaide man shakes his kid, newborn, young boy, and gives him permanent injuries, brain damage. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but permanent, life for life. For the rest of this poor little boy's life, or girl's life, I'm not sure. He's got injuries, no good. So the judge says, yeah, mate, you get 18 months in the jail to the dad. Come on, what the fuck's going on here? So the poor kid is now got some injury for the rest of their life. I can't remember exactly what it was. The dad, 18 months, it's just not on. Should be life. You hurt someone, kill someone, see you later. Now, this is where the justice system, after I was writing this in, the script has come and trumped me. In WA, finally, a judge has got it right, where a bloke, you might have heard about this back in, I think it was 2017 in Perth there, psycho bloke decided to get a bunch of knives, kill his wife, kill his 3 daughters, stab them all to death, and then the next morning when the grandmother come over to visit, stabbed her to death as well. Just absolutely tragic story. Finally, a judge has given out a sentence that is deserving, never to be released from jail. The first time ever in Western Australian history. Good on ya. There's a lot more cases like that need that kind of punishment. It's about time we've had a proper sentence. That is not on behaviour. We don't have that kind of stuff going on in our community. And a penalty like this shows really what, you know, the justice system is all about. It's what it should be. Not soft and, you know, you can kill someone but you're out in a year's time or 18 months on good behaviour. No, if you kill someone, mate, see you later. You're gone. Your life's gone. You just killed someone. You're in jail for the rest of your life. It's no good. It's no good. So I'm glad that judge has finally come down with a proper sentence. So kudos to you, buddy. So you almost got on my shit list there, the justice system, but you saved yourself there with that WA judge. Speaking of the shit list, we'll get into that before we get into the sports this week. Number one, middle-aged female Eagles supporters. You're just rude and obnoxious, and I can't stand you. Middle-aged female West Coast supporters. You're just so rude and opinionated. You've never played the game in your life, but you've got an opinion and you're so hostile. Not even the blokes are that bad. The younger crew aren't like that. The older women, the younger women, not so much, but generally the middle-aged women are the ones who, in my experience, are always the rudest, and they want to chime in on your conversation. They want to do the whole, I wasn't talking to you, buddy. I was having a conversation with the people I might be sitting with at the game or at the pub or in public or whatever, but they'll have to get involved. They'll make the snide, rude comments as well, and they get quite aggressive. It's not a fan of it, not a fan of that behaviour. Another thing on my shit list this week, people only talk when they want something. So we all know those people who, you know, give us a ring or send us a message or pop around when they need something. So you might not notice it straight away the first time they talk to you, or, you know, they might pop around. So they might pop around for a beer one day or give you a message here or there. Cool. But you guarantee that motherfucker next time around, when he wants to talk to you or comes around, he's going to ask for a favour or do something every single time. Because it's funny, if you don't hear from someone in a long period of time, this is when this behaviour happens. So we all know that. So those people who are like that, you're on my shit list this week. Uppercut yourself and just stop being like that. If you want to be in contact with someone, you want to be someone's mate, be their mate, talk to them, communicate with someone. That's life. But don't come into someone's life or go and communicate with someone else when you need something, you know? Yeah, call in a favour amongst mates, great, because mates are happy to do favours amongst mates. But don't be the only time you speak with your mates is when you need something. And I'm not speaking from any personal experience because I don't have one to go on it, but just as a life experience. So there you go. Another one on my shit list, the big one this week on my shit list, is the Face app. Take a selfie of yourself and it fucking makes you look older than what you are. Fuck me, you bunch of sheep. You sheep. Get fucked, you're on my shit list. If you've done the Face app and made yourself look old, you're on my shit list this week. Get off the shit list, stop with the Face app, and you'll be all right next week. Look, before we go into the sports, because we've got a bumper bit of sport, I've got a bit of world stuff to talk about. So on the running sheet, something else here to talk about as well. A couple of doozy letters in the mailbag. So, we'll talk about the world stuff. Look, once again, there's more problems in America with Iran. They're having another argument. There was a thing shot out the air the other day. More tensions are escalating there, so who knows? We spoke a little bit more about, you know, the space race, so that comes under the world stuff as well. Area 51, now this is quite funny, it's a comical world thing. The plan to storm Area 51, 300,000, 500,000, how many ever the number keeps going up, about how many people are going to rock up on this certain day, I think it's September, October, or something like that, and go and storm Area 51. Like, you guys are going to get shot. Simple as that. Like the signs say, shoot on sight. The last time someone went onto that site was like the start of this year. Dead. Bang. No questions asked, just dead. You walk on, you're shot dead. You come near the place, you're going to be killed. It's that simple. So I can't wait to see that unfold. It's going to be quite comical. Is there aliens? Is there not aliens out there? Who knows? We won't find out because you'll get killed when you get out there. That many people will get killed. And if not, there's going to be a big bloodbath. The Mona Lisa has been moved. Can you believe it? It's been moved. But not that far, just in another room inside the Louvre, so don't stress everyone. But it has been moved from its natural resting place, so that's a story, I guess. Don't know what's the story about, but picked that one up and thought I'd talk about it. Look, we'll get into the letters and then we'll get into a bumper edition of sports. The sports are happening. There's a shitload of pages on this one because I run a few polls about it. Actually, no, well, speaking of a Twitter poll, the Twitter poll I asked about Instagram, do people like it or not, was about 70-30. So 30% of people said no, and about 70% of people said they did like it. So there you go, that was interesting. That poll's still going, so send us your thoughts on Twitter at Biser's blog, so you can get on there and get on and have that poll, and let us know, and we'll cap it off when it gets finished at the end of the week, and just see how many of you guys actually like that on Insta. Now, where are we? There's a mailbag. Here's the letters. Jesus, so many of them to send through. I've got to pick out some good ones. All right. Biser, Steve here. Love your potty, you mad cunt. Keep it up. Get into these PC wankers. Well, thanks, Steve. That was bloody nice. Have you any questions, mate, or anything there? It's just, that's all it says. So, thanks, Steve. Thanks for your input, mate. I love the review. It was good on you. Give me a 5-star. Actually, no, give me a 1-star review on the podcast store, because that's what it's all about. The more 1-star reviews means the better job I'm doing. Of course, that's how it works. Another one here. Hi, boss. Do you like Kranskis? Only if they're cooked. And whoever sent me that is cooked themselves, because it just said anonymous on that one. So there you go. Now, big sport, weekend events. What did I get up to? Went to the footy, Collingwood and West Coast, should I say, at Optus Stadium Friday night. That was a cracking game. At one stage, I thought we were cooked. We looked cooked. We looked absolutely cooked. We didn't look like we were going to be playing do good footy at one stage. Halfway through that third quarter, something changed though. We started bouncing back. We started playing a lot better brand of footy. We started playing our brand of footy and turned the game onto our terms. West Coast didn't score for 45 minutes, and it brought us back into the realm of, being competitive. We get there in the last minutes to go. We get in front. We win by a point. What an absolutely thrilling game. It was all over, done and dusted. It's funny, we had a lady at half time who was down in the terraces mouthing off, a West Coast fan, middle-aged lady, like I was speaking before, mouthing off at me, and I was standing and mouthing off at me, and got involved in a conversation she wasn't even involved with. And all of a sudden, a couple of minutes to go, West Coast are down, she walks out. What a good supporter she is. Typifies the West Coast Eagles. They're losing the game, they're about to lose, and she walks out, leaves her seats and walks down. And then abuses all the Collingwood people that she walks past on the way. Good on you, love. Good on you, love. Now, Saturday night, the following night, I was back at Optus Stadium to watch Manchester United and Perth Glory. Now, that was a pretty cool game. It was a pretty good spectacle. Perth Glory, I thought, played pretty well. It was only 2-0 to Manchester United. A lot of youngsters, of course, and 2 halves, 2 teams, which was really good. So they brought full 11 rotations out. In fact, they did 12 because I had to do another one halfway through the second term. Shaw went off injured, but kudos to Perth Glory. They held their own and played quite well. It was really good. Respectful from United as well to wear the away strips that Glory could wear their home. Fantastic. I know it's Perth, but Manchester United were listed as the home team, and it was their base for a couple of weeks. So much respect from the Reds there. Then on Wednesday night, the big game, United versus Leeds, first time in many, many years. They play each other, oldest rivalry in English footy, and yeah, that was a great atmosphere. That was a really good atmosphere. That one, the light show, of course, in front, the fireworks, same thing as what they did on the Saturday night. It's a little bit more feeling, 5,000 more people in the stadium. It makes a big difference in that Optus Stadium. You can see at the top deck gets totally full with the extra 5,000 compared to when it's only 50,000. 4-0, great atmosphere. The wannabe streaker, he wasn't that great. It was quite funny. He got off Fellow, you know, jumped across, ran onto the field, ran around a few times, evaded a few guys. I thought it was quite hilarious, the security guard tripping over his own feet as he was running. That was hilarious as well. Apparently there's a punch on in the stands. I didn't see anything. I thought the crowd was very well behaved. I saw a little bit of vision. It seemed like a pretty small one. The media hammed it up to be a pretty big brawl, but it looked like a pretty small little nudge on there between a couple of idiots. All in all, fantastic atmosphere, fantastic fans, all the people that were around me, a bunch of boys from Manchester, lovely chaps, travelled all the way across, some chaps that sit next to me, support Manchester United, from Sri Lanka, living in New Zealand, flown all the way to Perth to come and watch the game. Fantastic to meet all these different people. Good event, good for Perth, good for WA. Hopefully United will be back up and about this year, so it'll be good to see that. Formula One, Silverstone, Lewis dominated. Fantastic. I think he would have caught Valtteri anyway. If the safety car didn't happen and he managed to sneak through on a pit stop, he just had the better pace. And even if Valtteri had gone the one-stop strategy, Lewis would have passed him, had much better race pace and management of those tyres. Fantastic. Mercedes are back. Sebastian cooked at Ferrari, I think, absolutely cooked. This is my opinion. I think he's going to end back up at Red Bull. That's highlighted by the vision of Sebastian going straight to Max after the race when they were up in Parc Fermé there, after he's collided into him and apologised straight away. It's a little bit out of character for Sebastian to go and do that straight away. So, you know, I think something there. I think Seb will go back to Red Bull alongside Max and potentially could leave a seat for Danny Rick to end up at Ferrari and actually give a world championship a big challenge, because I think Danny Rick can do it if he's in a good car. And unfortunately, it was in an unreliable car at Red Bull last year, and he's not in a good car this year. So you put Danny Rick in a good car, he'll be up there challenging Lewis. I'd really love to see that, because you know, I think they'll have two good battles between the two of them, if that can ever happen. Look, when we run to the World Cup, the big part here, England will rise, is what I've been told. They will rise. Well, they still haven't risen. The dough didn't get cooked properly. That's right, England are still cooked because they didn't win the World Cup. They were given the World Cup. They never won the game. They tied the game. So they still haven't won a World Cup. They still haven't won a World Cup final. No matter how you slice it. Now, what a debacle that was, an absolute debacle. You've gone 50 overs, tied. First of all, wickets were different on each. So I would have thought wickets would be in hand, but hey, not to worry. And clearly the number of wickets you lose doesn't come into effect. But we go to a super over, which is fantastic for the gimmick of T20 cricket, but not when we're playing a 50 overs one day World Cup. Now, if we're going to do any super overs, it should be a minimum of 5 overs each side to make it fair, considering it's a 50 over game, not 1 over like a T20 game gets. But then, after the game to be tied, after a super over and no result, they should have gone to an additional over, as opposed to then counting back the number of boundaries being scored. New Zealand were robbed, 100% on that score. Second of all, the main reason they were robbed is because when you look at overthrows, the rules state the run has to be completed before the ball crosses the boundary line for those additional runs and overthrows to be counted, and the completion of it, there's go. You can't continue running afterwards. They hadn't completed the second run, so it was only 5 that should have been awarded, not 6. Either they were robbed by a run. New Zealand. So, look, debacles galore in that there. I think not fair on that there at all, but they need to change the rules 100% on how that works. Imagine if it was Wimbledon, where 12 all, which we're about to talk about in a moment, 12 all in the final, Novak Roger, and all of a sudden we're going to decide it by how many aces have been served. Or we're at the golf or at the Masters, we've been playing 3 days, scores are level, we're all tied up, we're going to count back on birdies. It just doesn't work that way. We keep playing until we get a winner. That's what cricket should happen, and hopefully they change the rules. Now we'll talk about the tennis. Now what a superb game that was, Novak and Roger. Wow, 5 sets, tied up, 12 all. Roger was leading everything, the aces, the whole shooting match, the unforced, all of that. But Novak somehow managed to hold on and win that. Not a fan of the guy. Personally, I think he's a flog. I like Roger. I love Roger. But Novak, credit where credit's due. You're a great tennis player and you come from a very hard upbringing and done a great job for yourself. So I've got to give you credit there, but I don't like you because you carry on with too many tantrums. So there you go. Serena and Halep, fantastic. Serena lost, great. I did put money on Serena to win it only because it was better odds, but didn't happen. So had to lose that bet. The Tour de France is going nicely. I love watching that. Beautiful mountains and stuff like that to look in the background. And yeah, the standings are pretty speak for themselves. I'm not going to go into it because it's going to bore most of you. So I know most of you don't get into the tour, so we'll move on. AFL, the big story, what we've been all waiting for, the big part. Now, I've run a poll. I've run a couple of polls this week on AFL. The first one was about the coaching stories, of course. Alan Richardson out of St Kilda. He's gone. See you later. He's cooked. Now that opens up 2 coaching positions. At the moment, we have, or 3 coaching positions, of course. Don't forget North Melbourne. But this guy's not going to go to one of these 2 spots. If you were Brad Scott, the question I asked was, if you were Brad Scott right now, where would you go? Carlton or St Kilda? 70%, 71% said Carlton, 29% of you said St Kilda. Personally, I think he's going to go to St Kilda. I reckon he should go to Carlton, if he's going to go anywhere. But I would be going to I personally think he's going to go to St Kilda because of his connections with the man there. So that's just my mail. I have a feeling that he'll be St Kilda's coach next year, or Brad Scott. There could be one more coach to go. I reckon there could be a bit of strife down at Essendon as well. So there could be 4 potential coach moves. Who knows who's going to take over Carlton? There's talk of Rats. Rats hasn't gone and said no because obviously he's the caretaker at the moment at St Kilda. So could it be an audition for Rats again to get back into the Blues? I don't know why I'd do that after what they did to him and sacked him. They treated him badly to get McMulthouse across. Just to be defiant of Collingwood, and we all know how that worked out. So I don't necessarily know if I was Rats if I'd go back to the Blues, considering the history on that. But yeah, you never know. Luke Beveridge staying, of course, at the Bulldogs, signed on for a little bit more. Fantastic. Down at Collingwood, Taylor Adams stays on for a few more years as well. It was 5 years or something like that on top. So fantastic news. A couple of boys signing on at the Pies. Adam Good's documentary last night. Well, personally haven't seen the full thing of it, seen little bit clips and stuff like that. Now, from all reports, it was quite racist, it's been quite divisive, it's dividing Australia straight down the guts again, to the point people are missing, I believe. People booed him, I didn't, but people did boo him. People didn't like him. Now, I used to like Adam Goods back in the day because he used to be a fantastic footy player. Now, all of a sudden, Goodsy started punching people behind the play, sliding in with his legs, pushing people over, riding people, punching people in the back. There's a few clips up and about online of Goodsy doing this. If you don't believe it, just get onto Twitter and have a look yourself. Get onto YouTube, get onto whatever you want. They're all on there. You can find them of doing it. He's even done the squirrel tackle on the Richmond player where he's put his hand between his legs and grabbed the block and tackle and given it a squeeze. That's not on in my eyes. That's why you get booed. And then all of a sudden it was turned with the media and he turned it into something it wasn't, which was a race thing. And then it started gaining traction and started becoming more than what it was. Quite divisive, I think this is. I don't think it's going to do any good for anyone. That simply because it hasn't told the full story. It's only told one side of the story. I feel for some of the treatment that he got, but half of the treatment he got as well, he deserved, because he brought it upon himself with his rough thuggery play. Now that people deserve to be told if they're a thug, and they deserve to be booed at the football if they're playing like thugs, or they're injuring other people, or they're carrying on in an unsavoury manner. 100%. But when it goes to making racial slurs, that is not on. So there's a difference between the two, and I think somewhere along the line that has been lost in the translation. So it's a fine line. It's a fine line. People probably climb all over me for that, and it doesn't really bother me because you've missed my point. I like Goodsy in the first place, but I didn't like him at the end of his career simply because of the way he played his dirty football. No other reason. And then the rest of the stuff that went on it, yeah, I really just don't care. I really don't care about it, to be honest. Well, footy player. He's a footy player, and that's it. Is he a good footy player? Yeah, he was a great footy player until he started being shit as a thug. Simple, done, dusted. Let's move on. Now, Steve Hocking wants to reduce tackling, wants to get rid of tackling, reduce the numbers of tackles in the game. Jesus Christ, Steve. Back in 2010, there was more tackles than what was on at the moment, and that was a fantastic, higher scoring event than what we've got at the moment. It's got nothing to do with the amount of tackles, you spastic, as to what is the game and how the scoring is at the present time. Nothing at all. Stop trying to justify your role, you spanker. Off you go. See you later. Now, put a poll up for that. Still running that one as well. 100% of people say he needs to be sacked. Steve Hocking, bye-bye. Bizer's blog has done that one on your job, mate. See you later. Now, the tips for this week, we'll get them in before the end of the show. Crows, Bombers, Crows, Tigers, Power, Blue Suns, Blues, I think they've win. Giants, Pies, Lions, Roos, Lions, Dockers, Swans, Cats, Hawks on big game that one. I think the Hawks will get up. D's, Eagles, and the Swans and the Saints and the Dogs and the Doggies will get up on that. I'm pretty sure we got through everything so far this week. Look, we're on all the usual social medias. Get on and find us. Send us your letters in for Bizer's mailbag, bizersblog@gmail.com. Get on to Twitter at Bizer's blog. This will be up on the YouTube, of course. You can watch it on there. It's on Spotify as well at Bizer's blog, Apple Podcasts. Might be a new segment next week. Something exciting is going to be coming your way. Thank you all for listening. It's been fun. Till next time, catch you later.